So my name is Tina Bies, and I am the Technical Services and Electronic Resources Librarian at UI&U Library. And Susan Whitehead is also in the room right now.
Hi.
She is the reference librarian. I'm going to go ahead and stop my webcam here for a bit so I can focus on our presentation at hand. So today what I'm going to be talking about are some tips and tricks for your presentations. And these are things not only that are going to be helpful for your coursework here, but also when you're out in the field, in your future workplace or your current workplace, if you have to give a presentation, they're great skills and technology to learn. So the first thing that we're going to look at is actually how to find the resources. So before you can actually put your presentation together, you will need to find your articles or books or videos or images. And so to do that, we have a lot of great places to search. You can go to the library's website, which is library.myunion.edu, and you should see a OneSearch box there. OneSearch includes almost all of our research databases in one place, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in just a second. We also have a lot of video databases that are available that you can search those individually as well. And sometimes it's a bit easier to search the video databases individually rather than searching for them in OneSearch. And the one I'm going to show you tonight is Films on Demand. And then we're going to get into the Creative Commons, which is going to be where you can search for open access audio and video and images that you can use within your presentation. So on our library website, library.myunion.edu, we have our OneSearch box. And I'm going to go ahead and enter some keywords into this box. And the search I'm going to do is breastfeeding or lactation and social media. By using the Boolean operator of OR, that's going to have the database search for either one of these terms. So in the results, we should either see breastfeeding or lactation. And then we're adding an additional keyword by using and social media I have in quotations so that the database searches for that as a phrase rather than separate words. And we have a great search tips tutorial that goes over keyword searching and Boolean operators that you can always check out on our website. Once you click the search box and you're logged in, you'll be taken to your results page. And you can scroll down your results. Each result will have an icon that will tell you what type of source it is. So you might find academic journals in your results. You could find dissertations and theses. You might find newspaper articles or magazine articles. You might also find videos and books. If you find something that you would like to utilize in a presentation or paper, what you want to do is click on the title of the item, which is the blue link, and that'll take you into what we call the detailed record. And this includes the abstract of the item, so you can read a short paragraph to see if it is actually relevant to your topic. It gives you a lot of great subject terms as well. And it'll also give you the publication information. So if it's from a specific journal or a newspaper, that will be listed here, as well as the publication date. And on the right side, you have a bunch of options here. The most important one we like to point out is the Cite feature. So if you click Cite, you can go ahead and grab your APA citation right here. And you can use that in your references page in your PowerPoint presentation if you're pulling a quote into your presentation or in your paper. We always do suggest to double check these citations just to make sure the formatting is correct, but it can definitely save you a lot of time here. The other great option you have on the side here is the permalink. So if you want to include a link to your article or share it with someone, you can click permalink and you can copy and paste this URL here, and that will take you back to this page. You do not want to copy the URL that's in the taskbar up here because that's tied to a session ID. So that link will expire after a certain time period and it won't be able to take you to this page. So you always want to click on permalink and use that URL. You might also see full text links here that'll open up the item for you. I'm going to go back to the results page. You might also see a link that says request through interlibrary loan. That means that we do not currently have access to that item in full text, but we can get it usually from another library. So you could click this link and it'll bring up a new page where you can request an item. Once you've filled out an account, it will automatically take you to this page where the citation information is filled in and you can submit your request. Journal articles are sent to you free of charge, usually between 1 to 3 business days, and they're emailed to you as a PDF. You can also do interlibrary loan for books as well. For print items that we ship to you, we ship them free of charge to you, but you would have to pay the cost of shipping it back to our ILL department in Vermont. So back to our results page. If you wanted to limit down to specific source type, you do have that option on the left side, and you can also limit by publication date or peer-reviewed or available online full text. So that's just a brief overview of searching in OneSearch for resources. Again, we have a lot of great resources on our website, such as the library tutorial and the treasure hunt that you can watch. And Susan has a great presentation that is being recorded and will be shared as well. Now to get to videos, you can get video results in OneSearch if you go under source type and limit down to that. Depending on what topic you're searching, your topic might be too narrow and you may need to make it more broad. So rather than breastfeeding or lactation in social media, you might just have to do a search on breastfeeding or lactation in order to get video results. But the other place you can go is clicking on the videos link, which is underneath the OneSearch box, and that takes you to a list of all of our video databases. Now specific to this course, the best one to use here would be Films on Demand, and you can just click on that. It's in alphabetical order. And if we just do a search in Films on Demand on breastfeeding, you get a nice number of search results here. And all of these videos can be embedded or linked into your presentations and also into Campus Web. You can also create clips. So if it's an hour or 2 hour long video and you only want to share maybe 2 or 3 minutes in a presentation, you can actually create a clip of that and share it. So to click into a video, you can click the blue link again, which is the title. And your video will appear in the center here. And if you scroll down, there's actually a URL here that you can view. If you click under Share, it's again going to give you a direct link. There's a title URL and there's a segment URL because this specific video is part of a larger title. It's just a 25-minute segment. So just make sure to pay attention to which URL you're using depending on what you want to link to. You can also email this link to yourself. The embed codes, I want to point out that the embed code will work in Campus Web, but if you're trying to embed a Films on Demand video into PowerPoint, these embed codes do not work. So if you're using PowerPoint, you just want to do a direct link to the video and load it that way. You also have the citation option here. So you can click on citation and again get an APA style format from here. You can copy and paste that. And then like I mentioned before, if you want to create a custom segment, you do have to just create a free Films on Demand account, and you can do that right here as well. If you have any questions while we're going along, feel free to send them over in the chat box, and then we'll also have time for questions at the end of the presentation also. So the other thing that I wanted to point out was the Creative Commons. And you can also get to the Creative Commons through our videos link here. So I'm going to click back into videos and scroll down, and it's under Creative Commons search. And the Creative Commons search allows you to search many different places. So you can actually choose here where you want to search, whether it's Google Images, Flickr, YouTube, or Pixabay, or many other items. And this allows you to search for Creative Commons materials, so images, music, any other type of media. And what that means is that if they have a Creative Commons license, and depending on what type of license they have, you are able to use the material within a presentation as long as you attribute the item with a Creative Commons license and cite the material. So I'm going to go ahead and search Pixabay. And Pixabay is great because all of these images here, so let's go ahead and click on one of these. All of these are in the Creative Commons public domain, so they are free for commercial use, and you are not required to have an attribution. Now you still probably would like to reference them, in your references at the end of your presentation if you are using one, just so people know where you pulled it from. But it's not required to have an attribution underneath the image within your presentation. And there are a lot of great images on here as well. Great. So when you're using video and images in a presentation, you always want to make sure to test your files before you're giving the presentation. Make sure that your internet connection is working and the sound is all working correctly. That usually seems to be where the most technology issues occur, is when people have embedded a video and then have issues when they're actually trying to present and getting the video to load. So it's always good to double check and do a run through to make sure those items are working. So once you have your sources and you want to put them into a presentation, so whether you're using some sort of open slide software or something like PowerPoint, you can embed your image onto the slide, and you want to include a figure note and citation beneath the image. If you're using clip art, it does not require a citation, and again, like I mentioned, the Pixabay images do not require an attribution either. Also, if you're citing a quotation from an article or a newspaper or a book, that also needs to have a citation at the end of the quotation, and this is in APA style here. And you can also cite if you're paraphrasing an item. And you can actually set up in certain presentation software, you can actually set up so that your citation will link to your references page at the end of the presentation. And here's an example of references that were used in the presentation. So we have some journal articles here, and then we also have this image from Flickr here. There's a lot of great links if you need assistance with creating citations for media. A lot of times it can be a little tricky to cite photos and videos and things like that. So some things that I would suggest checking out are the APA style blog. And they actually, on this APA website, have a whole series on how to cite an image, which is really helpful. It's a lot easier to read through here than trying to page through the APA manual and find the correct place to do it. So there's actually 4 sections that you can read through on correct APA style citations for images here. Another great place is the Visual Communication Guy website. I found a really nice graphic that he created on here. And it talks about images, can you use the picture or not, is it copyrighted? So a lot of people don't really think about that. They'll just find an image on Google and save it and put it into a presentation and not really think much about, you know, do I need to cite this? Is it copyright protected? So it's really great to learn more about this process, and this is a really nice infographic that you can read about. And we also suggest the Purdue OWL. So that's a great website for all things citation and style, but they do actually have a PowerPoint slide presentation guide here. So if you do want some more help with creating a PowerPoint presentation in APA style, you can go to this site as well. So when you're getting into creating your actual presentation, there are a lot of places you can go for inspiration as well. TED Talks is a great site. You can view short, you know, few-minute talks on different topics, and the presenters are really passionate about their subject matter, and it's a great videos to watch before you actually have to give a live presentation to get yourself pumped up and just see some examples of how other people are presenting. For design inspiration, you can always search Pinterest. They actually have a lot of interesting templates on here and different designs. And you can even, you know, limit that down more, but there's, you know, designs for PowerPoint, Keynote, which is a Mac, kind of a version style of PowerPoint, but Mac. And it's kind of interesting to see different people's designs that they have and different templates here. For public speaking tips, Toastmasters International has a lot of great tips on their website. So you can always go here as well. And always remember that templates are your friends. So I will say that I am not the most creative person or a, you know, graphic designer. My husband's a graphic designer. I do not have that creative gene in my body, so I love to use templates and kind of just mold them to be, you know, to fit into my own personal style. So you don't need to spend, you know, a whole lot of time coming up with some, you know, completely unique design if there's something already out there that you're able to use. So some quick tips when you are creating your presentation. The first thing you definitely want to do is organize. So it's very helpful to create a storyboard. You can lay out, you know, your ideas for different slides while taking notes and creating an outline. The same thing you would do with when you're writing a research paper with creating an outline. You can do the same thing when you're creating a presentation. Once you have your storyboard and outline, you can think more about your design. Make sure that you have a consistent theme, your font, color, and size is legible, and you don't want to have a lot of text on your slides. I have been to presentations before where the entire slide is just a whole paragraph of text, which I would not recommend. You want to just focus on the main points in your slides and use that to guide you in your presentation and your speaking. When it's time to actually create your presentation, there are a lot of great options. So, you know, the old standby is PowerPoint, but there are a lot of other great tools that are out there now that are free to use. So what I'm actually using right now is called Images, which is free, and it's, you know, it looks like similar to PowerPoint, but they have a lot of interesting templates that you can choose from, and it's all completely web-based. So you don't have to have any software on your computer. You can access your account from anywhere, and you can easily share the URL to your presentation with anyone, and they can view it on their computer or any sort of mobile device. Google Slides is also a great option that's free, as is Impress, which is an open office product. Keynote is a Mac product. PowerPoint we're all familiar with. And Powtoon is something interesting. I'm not sure if anyone has used that before, but it is just powtoon.com, and you can actually create animated videos and presentations, and you can create a free account for this as well. And they're kind of fun depending on what type of presentation you have. You can have an actual person giving a speech. A lot of different marketing agencies use it to connect to their clients. So I definitely check that out. It's something fun and different. And the last one I have listed here is Prezi. And Susan's presentation, if you watch that at some point, is done with a Prezi. And Prezi, you can also sign up for a free account. And this is just an example of what the Prezi would look like. It's more of a three-dimensional presentation. And again, there's lots of different templates you can use, different ways to keep the audience engaged in your presentation. Once you have your presentation, you want to go ahead and go through the entire thing and definitely check for spelling errors. Test any links to videos, animations, and audio. Make sure you've cited any images or sources that you used. And last but not least is check the slide order. Sometimes you put your slides in a certain order and then you're practicing your presentation and realize that, you know, maybe that transition wasn't the greatest. This could move somewhere else. So it always helps to double check that as well when you're doing a run through. Another aspect you could add to your presentation is audience interaction. So you could come up with some sort of activity or a game to involve your audience if you're doing it live. Just keep in mind the time that it might take your audience to complete the task, the difficulty level of it, and what resources the audience needs to have available in order to complete the task. Some other really neat features that allow you to connect to your audience are Poll Everywhere, which is also free. You can poll your audience, and it is free up to 25 responses. So if you're giving, you know, a presentation to less than 25 people, it's a really fun way to interact with them. You can set up any type of questions, and you can see the responses live. So I'm going to show an example of that right now. So I have a poll going that says, where are you watching the presentation from? And so the audience could go to this URL right here and respond to the poll. They don't have to create a login or anything, and it's anonymous. And they would be able to just click on a state here if you're outside of the U.S. Unfortunately, this is only a U.S. map, but you could pick your favorite state if you're not in one of these states currently. and the results would show up live here. So I'm not sure if anyone's able to open up a tab and go to this URL right now so we can see some responses live with that. There we go. So it's kind of fun. I've been into some presentations where they've asked the entire group a question and we could see a bar graph live of the results. It's also kind of fun, you might want to ask a question to see, what level all of your audience is on for the knowledge of your topic. You could pull them at the beginning of your presentation and then again at the end of the presentation. Another helpful tip is to share your presentation. So if you're doing something like a PowerPoint, that's not something that's easy to share. Sometimes if you're emailing it, the file size can be so large that it might not go through and arrive in the person's email. So a great site to share your presentations are SlideShare, and that's just slideshare.net. And that allows you to upload your slides for your presentation, and you can share them via email with anyone. You can make your slides public for anyone to search on the SlideShare website, or you can make them private so that you have to have a specific URL to access them. If you're creating with something like eMaze or Prezi or Google Slides, they provide you with a really simple URL that you can just email to your audience to share your slides that way. Another thing you can use is SurveyMonkey if you're interested in getting audience feedback and assessment. And this is free for up to 10 questions and 100 responses. And you can just create a free account here, and it's all online. It allows you to analyze your results as well, and you can make it anonymous or require your users to input their information. It's always great to get feedback and assessment on your presentations. I know with many of our library presentations we do feedback questions as well, and it's always great to hear back from our students and faculty. When you're putting together your presentation, this is my favorite quote. There are two types of speakers, those who get nervous and those who are liars. So it's so normal to get nervous when you're giving a presentation. You just need to make sure that you're preparing for it. So before you give your presentation, it's always good to run through the presentation. You can do it in front of a family member or someone, a friend. It's great to do it in front of an audience that knows nothing about your topic because they can give you a lot of great feedback. And it's also great to time yourself to see how long your presentation is, if you're going on too long or if you're not filling up the time enough. So practice and preparation are very important. And then just accept the fact that you're giving this presentation. It's just going to be one aspect of your life. It will be over very quickly. There's nothing you can do to change that. And again, everyone gets nervous, and they're all in the same boat as you giving a presentation. If you need any help finding your resources or would like help with any of the technology that we went over today, you can always ask a librarian. Our email is library@myunion.edu. You can also call us by phone or text us. You can also send us a chat message, and you can create a research appointment with us. We're happy to meet with you one-on-one, whether it's during regular office hours or outside of those office hours. And we can meet with you on weekends or evenings as long as we have that scheduled ahead of time.